Good morning. Heading out to the tanning bed and then physical therapy. It's Thursday morning. Last night, I got 7 hours and 23 minutes. Now, I did wake up to watch the Dr. Kiltz show. Dr. Kiltz, Dr. Nelson, Aaliyah. I watched that show this morning and went back to bed after the show was over. So, I'm a devoted, loyal watcher, listener, I guess. I just love the feeling of that butter at night for sleep. And if you don't believe me, you simply must try it. All it is those two little squares. I don't know if I'd have to equate it to maybe a teaspoon of butter for each square. So 2 teaspoons of butter a night. I used to just cut it off of the regular stick of butter, tablespoon, and do it that way in a pinch. But the browned butter bites are unctuous and so tasty. It's almost like it's a nightly dessert, and there's no sugar there, so go figure. All right, Jerry, fess up. What's the buzz? Tell us what's going on. Well, to make it very, very, very short, y'all know I'm 64 years old, so I'm no spring chicken. And you also know that I'm very, very religious. Not as religious as I used to be insofar as the Catholic doctrine was concerned, because back in the day when I was a Catholic, I used to pray the rosary every day and go to church, mass every day. When I lived, of course, in Milwaukee, and the church was everywhere in Milwaukee, and the church was big back in the day. Nowadays, the Catholic Church isn't such a thing. It's very sad. The church that I went to with my sister was very dead. Everybody had an end seat in a pew, so all the ends of the seats were full. But if I were to take all those people, I don't think in my church, Jacob's Well, I don't think they would fill up that church, my church. I don't think they'd even fill up half of the church. Yet we're overflowing on Sunday. The traffic is something. People are drawn to God and not necessarily drawn to the rote prayers or the saints. That's my opinion today. So I don't want to appear like I'm lambasting, but I have my reasons. And my reasons are personal to me. So, I was once married to a drunk, serious. And being a devoted Catholic, I thought I had to take it. I thought I had to put up with the drinking and the cost of drinking, everything associated with drinking, everything, and the verbal abuse. So I stuck around until he was sleeping around. And then, whoops, there's a deer. Get out of the way, deer. All the baby deers are out. Ooh. Thank the Lord I've got good brakes. Thank you, God. Speaking of God. Where was I? Verbal abuse. Mental abuse. So, I hung in there. And yesterday at work, the young kids complain a lot. They really do. And I think it's just part of being a youngster these days. They said, Jerry, how can you take it? How can you work here for so many years and put up with the stuff? I just let them know exactly what I told you. I was in an abusive relationship before, and it was my faith that said, there's no divorce. You can't have divorce. But the only reason for divorce is adultery and I don't know. I just have stuff to work out. I'm an excellent wife. I know what I brought to the relationships that I've had. Very loyal, like blinders. Always loyal to the husband, to the goal in a marriage. Yet somehow, at 64, I don't want to start over again. And I can't imagine a 75-year-old man wanting to start over again. Why would you do that? I don't understand. I can't comprehend. Is it something going on with medication? Is it something going on with emotions? Is it something going on with the fact that he has macular degeneration and now he has 85% good vision, 15% loss? But as a wife, I'm concerned. My goal is, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is anymore. Seriously. To retire at 65 because I'm thinking I need to stay home and take care of him. Just using common sense. I didn't expect all of this stuff. I did not expect to have hip surgery on day number 5, lying in bed and asking to have the stocking put on me so I don't get a blood clot and being told no. I didn't expect the man that I've been married to for 27 years to tell me, go to a hotel. In other words, I don't want to be burdened. Now, I don't beef, moan, and complain. You can use your own words. I don't nag. But when that came up saying I nag, no, I don't. I don't say anything. I didn't say anything. Jack, from the jump, told me we are having our own account. We never had a joint account, checking, savings, any of that stuff. Never, ever, not one time. I don't know why. We just didn't do it. And I don't say anything to him when he wants to buy a black Lincoln Continental. I think it's 63. I don't know. A white 63 Lincoln Continental. I don't even know what kind of vehicle. A green dot. I don't even know what. A green dot. We've had so many vehicles. We've had Impalas before. We've had Caprices before. We have a red vehicle that I don't have a clue what the name of it is. many vehicles. Jack was enthralled with getting a mobile home so that we could go on vacation and use the mobile home to go down to Florida. We never went to Florida. It had nothing to do with his vision back then. Or maybe it did and I didn't know. I went to Mayo the last time I went to Mayo, and I had to have some tests done, and the girl recognized me from the eye doctor here in Bloomer. And she said, "How are you doing? How's Jack doing? I'm so sorry about his eyes." I said, "What?" And then she told me, because she worked for past tense, now she works for Mayo. She told me that he had the macular degeneration. He had that diagnosis years ago. I didn't know about it. Because I work second shift, I used to work first shift. And then I switched over to second shift. I didn't go to all of Jack's appointments. So when I did go to this last eye doctor appointment last year, after my back surgery and before my hip surgery, and that doctor told him that he is considered legally blind, it reminded me of when we had to go to the emergency room when we were in Florida. And for whatever reason, he didn't get the proper medication before we left for Florida, so we left, and he absolutely was swelling up, so much to the point that one of the doctors that were there at the resort that we stay at, he said he was concerned as a retired doctor seeing Jack. And he said, the doctor, the guest at the hotel, that after I came back and told him what the diagnosis was or the medication, that he was just ballooning up and swelling up and filling up with water. He said, "It's a good thing you went when you did, because Jack would have died." So Jack really has escaped the death grip so many times, you guys. It isn't funny. Many, many times. And God, I know, has his hand on him. And I know he's being protected by the angels. And I don't doubt that his father, who died an early, untimely death, is protecting his child. I know that I have protection, but this is hard. It's hard. So when I'm told that I'm the bad person and it's my fault and I'm a nag, oh, you guys do not know the half. You imagine yourself after having back surgery, having weeks of laundry that needs to be washed, and you can't because the washing machine, we can't get a new one, or he didn't call the maintenance guy to get it fixed. But if we needed a muffler for one of these classic cars that are in the garage and they don't drive, we got it. Remember when I needed a windshield? You pay for it, Jerry. Not a problem. I have my own account. He has his. Not a problem. This too shall pass, right? This too shall pass. I am not, refuse to get a divorce this late in the game. I can't. I'm not at fault. And I don't know what to do right now. Don't know. This too shall pass. The only thing I do is to pray for God's will, because I don't pray for anything specific. I told you a couple weeks ago that a person that prays to God, for example, for $1 million, God may answer them. They go to a casino, they hit the jackpot, they get $1 million. They walk out of the casino, cross the road, get hit by a drunk driver. They got $1 million and they're dead. I've stopped praying for things. I pray for the will of my Father in heaven. Woo, this video was deep, and this is the end of the video. Seriously, I can't do any more video today. I just have to close it at that and ask you to, if you're a praying person, to join with me and pray for God's will. Please. God's will be done. Not my will, but God's. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. If you're listening on earbuds, I appreciate it. We'll talk tomorrow. I'm at the tanning salon. It's 10:30. See you tomorrow.